If you have a question or request for content on the show, contact Almost Legal Podcast on Twitter or email almostlegalpodcast@gmail.com.
Like you say, hey, we're going to go to it.
Say it. I'm going to say it.
Huh?
I was broke. I told myself never again. I can't trust a soul. No, never again. I got them talking like I made it. They see I'm lit up, asking me for my location. He was talking reckless at the kitchen, that's a fragrant. Yeah. Left my last girl, I got a new, but she my favorite. Don't tap into my phone, asking me about a favor. Swear I'm out to get this paper every day. I fucking wake up, no, I gotta get my cake up. Yeah, no, I gotta get my cake up. I took my talent from the field. I'm moving solids cause it kills. She got 3K on the ground. I smashed it cause she worth a meal. Same one see me hungry, skipping meals. Same ones doubted when me drop the price. Out of state, copy millet, shit get real out. Don't you write a statement on me when it's real. I was broke.
Just be sure to subscribe. And if you have a question or request for content on the show, contact Almost Legal Podcast on Twitter or email almostlegalpodcast@gmail.com.
I was broke. I told myself never again. I can't trust a soul. No, never again.
I hope.
All right.
Welcome to the pregame.
Yeah. It is what
So
it is.
what do I need to do if that happens again and I have to close
Whoa,
out?
what the hell happened here? What? I don't know. Just tell me and I'll try to figure it out.
All right.
Just another one of those glitches.
I don't think that's on us either, though.
Timer's up.
Are you stuck?
Yep.
Of course.
Jesus Christ.
All right, Allison, you ready?
I'm so ready. Counting down, are we 5, 4, 3, 2, 1?
Yeah, it's on you.
Over here. I get to see as a blue. I just get to talk to myself. I have no idea what's
You're on. You're live.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go.
Yep.
So welcome to, here we are. This is my turn. They let the girl have it. Oh my gosh.
You're live right now.
Yeah, we're live.
We're here.
Welcome. Almost Legal Podcast. What episode number is this? Did we determine that?
96.
95, 94, 96?
We are on episode number 96, ladies and gentlemen.
This
Tonight,
is old news.
we are rotating. Right now, we're trying something new. We're all going to kind of take turns developing episodes. And this turn is Allison. She has worked up a pretty good episode we got going for you today. And I'm excited. I'm going to let her take the lead while I mess with some stuff. Go ahead, Allison.
He's just excited because he gets to take a break. See, this is what happens. It's kind of like it's kind of like what we're going to talk about this, but it's kind of like the whole Super Bowl. I mean, I'm a girl. I can say that Super Bowl Sunday for most of us is, I think we just hang out in the kitchen and we cook snacks. So, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So, I mean, I will say that first off, I want to talk about one thing. January, thank God, is over. Can I get an amen?
Amen to all 780 days.
Yes.
January is got to be the longest month. I don't know about you guys, but when you start to, can anybody ever imagine? I mean, I could not live somewhere where the sun doesn't ever come out for like 3 weeks straight. It's really depressing.
Oh, I know. You know, why is it that it seems like it's January's like that? And then the months you love, like June, July, bang, and they're gone.
They're just out of here. It's like, and then you're straight into just sweat running from your armpit.
Right. Welcome to the South.
And then you're cussing it, and then you get 2 weeks of fall. But granted, we're already back to spring. Last week was snowpocalypse. You guys didn't even get any snow, did you?
No, did
No.
you get any down there?
Nothing.
It snowed
Nothing.
just.
No.
It snowed just enough to piss
we
you
had
off.
rain.
I didn't even see a flake.
I saw a few flakes, but
Oh no,
nothing
I
on the
saw
ground.
flakes, but not snowflakes.
No.
That was a pun,
Cornflakes.
right? So,
We got it.
so what do you think?
Well, we had Groundhog Day.
Not here, we didn't.
Groundhog.
No, we
there's
didn't.
that
No.
plus. He came out, and then guess what?
Yeah, but here
Suddenly
we.
it's spring again.
Yeah, but here we had like it's now Possum Day.
Today's possum.
No, like Groundhog Day.
It's possum day.
See, we had Puxatawney Phil, the guy in Pennsylvania, the groundhog up there is been like the national groundhog for all these years. But here locally, we have one here. They do at the zoo. They call him Birmingham Bill. But from what I understand, they typically groundhogs are hibernating at this time of the year. So they didn't want to wake him. They said he's a little grumpy if you wake him up. So this year in Birmingham, instead of using our groundhog at the zoo, we used a possum. Now,
So is this like redneck games?
see, that's to me is every time something happens on the news, okay, they make us look worse and worse. Let's be honest.
Right.
Right.
I mean,
A damn possum.
right. We're going to use a possum. Okay. What does a possum know about spring and fall?
What is anything? It's all stupid.
I know, right?
They're just you know what I know about possums? The grossest experience I've ever had with a possum. I ran over one in the middle of the road, and it got stuck under my wheel well under the front of the car. And I drove screaming at the top of my lungs for about 5 miles because I could feel its body hitting underneath the car. Not a fun experience.
Right. They're
So-
mean too.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. Those armadillos.
So did
they're all
y'all-
pretty stupid.
Right. Did y'all watch Paint?
You know,
Did y'all watch Paint Dry on Sunday?
Right. The Super Bowl.
I was gonna say it was almost as stupid as the Super Bowl.
Good
was,
night. My
but
favorite-
Not quite.
My favorite thing during the game, I shit you not, Fox posted a meme
Right.
saying the Super Bowl MVP race is heating up, and it showed the two punters.
Right.
I was like, oh, great. This is a.
It was a game of special teams.
Look,
I felt like it was a Special Olympics.
I honestly did
and
not care who won. I gave no shits. I was just glad it was as boring and
Aw.
as terrible as it could be.
Well,
I do think they did say it went down as the most boring game in history.
Oh no, it was
Low
the
scoring.
most
Boring.
low-scoring Super Bowl in mankind. The Super Bowl halftime show was god awful. What do y'all think about
We'll get to that.
Adam Levine ripping his nipple out?
dude, let me tell you something. First of all, two things, okay?
He lo-
One,
It was a
okay,
sexy nipple.
I got to think. I had an opportunity to yesterday or the day before to watch a video on like how big the famous acts for halftime have been over the years.
This was terrible.
Dude, this was horrible.
You got half
Okay.
of Outcast.
You pretty much
Right,
have to subject
right.
yourself to like suicide to say, "Hey, I am going to host the Super Bowl, so you're basically going to be like slammed."
Right.
I think that's like the general rule of thumb now, right?
Well, do you agree with people that do you think there is a legit reason or a legit cause for people to get triggered about him showing his nipple versus Janet
Janet's?
Jackson? Because I think it's
Yeah,
kind of implied.
I think there's some definite. I was kind of upset.
Really?
Janet got banned from TV, and
Really?
Adam got to bear it all.
Well,
And let's be honest,
well-
Janet's ratings were way better.
well, no, well, listen,
Yeah.
listen.
I'd rather look at her nipple any day.
It's kind of like when you cast a Ryan Gosling or a Chris Hemsworth or what's the
Chris Pratt.
all right.
Oh, right.
McConaughey.
Matthew
Matthew
McConaughey.
McConaughey, right?
They're you know if there's a
McConaughey.
movie they're casted in other than when he's a crackhead,
He's going to have his
They-
shirt
they
off.
got to have his shirt on.
Right.
And I feel like that all the fans of Maroon
They're
5,
to
they're like, if
show
I don't
their
see his damn
nipples.
nipples, I'm going to be pissed. I paid to see this damn show.
That'd be like bringing Pamela Anderson to the party, and she wore a turtleneck and a
Right.
cape.
Right. Not getting hepatitis
Backwards.
C or whatever.
But you have to be
That would
honest.
kind of a shame.
But let's be honest, okay? Looking back on some of even some of the more recent Super Bowls that we've had, the talent level is absolutely dumbfounding. And I'm not a huge Beyonce fan, but let's be honest, Beyonce's a big name, okay?
The Queen Bee?
You had the Queen Bee on several occasions. We've had people like Paul
I love
McCartney. We've had the Who, and even though they were terrible, okay. But let's be honest for just a second. Even
Hey, the Who was in the Saints Super Bowl.
right.
Okay, but why do we always end up finding ourselves saying that these people are terrible? Because I have really had to put myself into this thought because it's always terrible.
I don't know.
So is it
Queen killed it.
because
Queen
they have,
killed
like,
it.
Not Queen,
that just
Prince.
run out
Prince.
there
Prince killed
instead of
it.
the stage, or what?
So I'd have to say, what is your favorite halftime? I'd have to say for me, it would have to have been either Prince. Or Justin Timberlake had a pretty good show.
Yeah, it was all right.
I mean, I could still go back to my Britney Spears days. I
Screw
still
Britney
shout out to
Spears.
Britney.
It's not a Super Bowl, but Imagine Dragons was pretty good for the college championship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Aside from Lil Wayne.
my
Okay.
favorite is Prince because of what
Lil
went,
Wayne scared me.
of what
Not
went
gonna
down.
lie.
Oh, the rainstorm.
The rainstorm, and he said, "I don't care."
he just
out
went
there
and
just
did it
rocked.
anyway.
And he didn't promote his own music. He played covers. He did all.
Right.
He just was jamming out. It was incredible.
And I
I
think
got
it's
goosebumps right now.
And don't you think it's kind of disappointing if you watch this last one, other than Maroon 5, and then when you know you're going to be on national TV, does it not just irritate you for them to have to bleep out every other freaking line?
Yep.
Okay, I was gonna say that's where yes.
Oh, when
To me, this is where it's like, why even bring that? Why even say that lyric if nobody's gonna hear it anyway?
Right.
It sounds like.
well, I guess they heard it
Oh,
live.
wait. Did you hear that? No, you didn't. See.
If I'm a performer, though, are you really performing? And you're on national TV, okay? Am I going to perform for the 70,000 people in the stadium, or am I going to perform for the 7 million
10
on
million?
TV?
Yeah.
Right.
Not in the state of Louisiana, but yeah.
Right. Speaking of, okay, that was
Well, even
awesome.
With garbage, all of their sales went up. So I mean, even if it was terrible, they still all had, their pockets were lined.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know.
No
Okay.
doubt.
So did anybody see the picture? It looked like freaking Mardi Gras. It looked like Fat
Thousands.
Tuesday in New Orleans.
None of the bars were playing it.
Right. It was the
time-
anti-Super Bowl
right?
party.
The Times-Picayune that
The
fought
anti-Super Bowl.
on Monday morning had a blank page
page.
saying what Super Bowl.
Right. But I'm gonna tell you something. The crowds
That whole-
literally
the-
were
the
like
butt was hurt still.
were
I
like
can
it is a Mardi
understand.
Gras.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it's okay. Like Josh, his jersey was ready, and we know he was ready to go. So
I was.
Look at it this way: you don't have to dry clean it.
Yeah, I know.
we don't. He doesn't have to dry clean anything else.
It's always
you know.
next year.
It's always next year.
Always next year.
It is. We can always bring lots of things back out. We can come back to this. I think now would be probably a good time. Maybe we should come back to this because I think we have some inappropriate commercials that we're going to play
Okay.
because we've got more to talk about. I mean,
Okay.
besides Super Bowl, there's let's be real. There's email leaks. We actually have some good news to talk about. Dogs and prisoners. What does that have in common? I don't know, but I'll tell you about it. And then, we're going to talk a little bit about Valentine's Day, V-Day. That's not a
It's the
that's
gift that
not
keeps
a
on
sexually
giving.
transmitted disease. I
Depends on
promise.
what house you're in.
I just had to throw it out there.
If it has glitter on it, possibly.
So we'll talk about
So-
Amateur Day in just a little bit.
We'll talk about V-Day. And we're going to talk a little bit about some conspiracy stuff around a guy that I've just learned about. This guy's name is Seth. And I'm going to say it all serious now. We're going to do the Seth Rich murders. So we'll
The
talk about that
Seth
too
death.
when we come back.
We'll be right back.
They're more
Yeah.
reliable than you.
Based on a recent nationwide survey, Chevy is more reliable than Toyota, Honda, and Ford.
You guys didn't survey any mechanics, huh?
Wow. I never would have thought.
Yeah, that's because you have common sense.
I'm so impressed.
You're impressed because they made up an award and gave it to themselves? Well, I'm about to impress the shit out of you guys. Because I just gave myself a survey. I'm giving myself the biggest dick award. Also, I'm giving myself the best forehead award. Yeah, I just inched out Rihanna to give myself that accolade. So I just looked it up, and these claims are based on a single limited survey commissioned by Chevy itself. And it looks like only 48,000 surveys were completed out of almost 900,000. Your reliability survey is about as reliable as your cost. Not very. I guess you guys didn't get the J.D. Power Reliability Award, huh? So you just made one up? Without your marketing team, Potch, we would both have to find new jobs. Okay, so I went ahead and I printed these out for everyone to read. It's the 2018 Consumer Reports Reliability Survey. Here, just take one of these and just pass it down if you would, Carol. And as you can see here, Chevy is listed under the less reliable column, right underneath a single rusty broken axle.
Might have been slightly wrong.
Okay, no, but seriously, where'd that sheet go? Hey, do we still get... No, Potch. No.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, hobos and tramps, cockeyed mosquitoes and bowlegged ants. We are going to be talking about, what are we talking about, Allison? We're talking about Valentine's Day. Is that what you said?
And yeah, we're going to talk about Valentine's Day because, you know, I guess I'm like the weird girl that's not really, I'm kind of anti-Valentine's.
What?
Believe it. I know. I mean, you know, I hate to say it, but to me, it's such a marketing holiday. I mean, I've had to kind of get over myself over the years. I'm a creative person in general, so I do actually have fun doing things all Valentine's with kids.
So are you a giver or a receiver?
But I'm kind of like I don't care, and then more people care about it than me, and I've been known to hurt people's feelings. Which is actually what spawned. You know, we're gonna chime in and have our listeners talk about this, but this is a little personal to me because I'm kind of. My husband says that I'm one of those people that I just, you just suck the life out of things. I'm like, well, I mean, it's just, so what? It's just a commercial holiday. It's just, I just got through like getting off the 10 pounds I gained from Christmas, and here you come with chocolates and flowers. They're going to die. And, at least make it something practical. And then I sound like Debbie Downer.
And
so, do you guys get your wives like?
Well, see, I used to try to throw it off. Like I used to call it amateur day. But when you've been married as long as I have, just with married people, okay, you find out real quick that doesn't go over too well at home. Because
I like to sit outside of Walgreens and watch all the boyfriends and the
roses and cars.
And watch them pour in and out last minute and see what they can get. That's a fun activity on Valentine's Day. That's my kind of night.
So are you go out or stay home?
I'm kind of like a stay-homer because that's a lot of crowd.
Right.
I don't know that I've ever been out, but I worked in the food industry at one point in time, and I remember that I hated Valentine's Day. Maybe that tainted me. So it sounds like, so Josh, are you like, or do you do the big Valentine's Day ordeal?
He'll let you know.
Are you going to get in trouble if you say you are or you aren't?
No, I did dinner, something sweet.
Yeah, you do the normal stuff. Well, my husband, God love him, he does. He is, and I'll talk more about this, but yeah, I've been a bad Valentine's Day receiver, if that's the best way to say it. So we're going to ask our listeners too about this a little this week. We're going to talk a little bit about like the worst Valentine's Day stories, not the good ooey gooey, like, oh, he laid out the heart-shaped petals, not the, I just sat there and Netflix and chilled. We get that there's the single awareness. I'm with you.
I like the Netflix and chill.
But I want like Netflix and chill is good, But I really do. I want to hear like the crazy stories because I know I worked in hotels. Chris, your wife works in hotels. We've seen some crazy things.
Oh yeah.
When you're around food and beverage, I know there's crazy stories out there that have happened around Valentine's Day. I mean, my God, just the amount of weddings and conceptions. I'm sure there's some entertaining. So if any of our listeners have some ideas or have heard or maybe experienced a really crazy Valentine's story, we were going to ask that everybody. Give us a shout out on Facebook. Let us know because we kind of want to feature some crazy Valentine's Day stories. Next week we're going to do the pre-event party.
We'll throw that question out there on Facebook probably tomorrow.
Absolutely. We might even get it out tonight. You never know.
We might.
I'm full of big ideas and terrible time management.
Right.
So we're going to talk a little bit more about we'll talk about the Valentine's Day gone wrong stories, but let's go ahead and kind of get into a little bit more of the meat of the stories today.
All right.
So we're going to talk about the Seth Rich murders, right?
Seth Rich murders.
Do you want to talk about that murder first, or you want to talk about the local murder first?
What? Yeah.
I was going to say, we can talk local or we can talk big scale.
So
there's been murders everywhere.
Let's be honest for just a second, okay? Today, and Allison, I know being down towards the Montgomery area, there was even action down there over this today.
There was.
So the videotapes, the investigation's done. The Attorney General's come out and said that there was a justifiable shooting at the River Chase Galleria in Hoover, Alabama. And once again, the whole place goes nuts. It drives me. It drives me crazy, and they act like this is some kind of new information. We're just now getting the information on the video and all that. The family's already seen the video. Here's.
I think that we've all already decided, and this is just a huge media. A lot of this is media plot. It's just a lot of this is when do we? Let's go back to what the real issue was. It's all based on a ruling saying, hey, the police did what they were rightfully supposed to do, right?
So yesterday, when all this comes out, the protest immediately started. And here's the other thing that gets me. They're out there burning American flags. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, what does that have to do with anything?
Nothing.
And again, I did not know this. I always thought that burning the American flag was an illegal act. Okay, supposedly, and this is
at one point in time it was.
It was at one point, right? And then it's all been changed in the not so.
So
recent.
now we got to be fair because the people burning the flags, we have to give them equal treatment to the ones that aren't burning the flags.
It supposedly has to do with your First Amendment, your freedom of speech rights. Okay, that you're actually allowed to burn. Either way, I think if you're burning the flag, you should pick it up when you're done and get the hell out of the country. Yeah. Okay. The second thing that bothers me about this is, let's take this scenario for just a second. Okay. The police don't react. Okay. And he, out of his anger, after he shot up the kid's house, went to the Galleria with a gun with intent to do some kind of harm to somebody. Now the guy's angry and he's running back towards the crowd. The police do not react, and he shoots 20 people, including 5 kids, a pregnant mom, somebody's grandparent,
mama's baby's mama,
right?
Mama,
okay,
everybody's dead.
So now what do we? So now are the protests? Are they different now? Are we now protesting the?
It's the gun's fault.
Well, no, right? Okay,
right?
Or are
we that too.
Or are we protesting that the police didn't do their job?
There's all this weird, it's the common sense of, this is all just wrong. You got people murdering people, number one. You have people using guns to wrongfully kill people, threatening others. It's all insanity. This is all insanity. If the gun was turned the other way, what are you going to say?
And the other question is, nobody's asking, what happened to the little girl that got shot?
Bullet still in her.
Right? Okay. She's going to have to live with that for the rest of her life. Mm-hmm. So, where's the outrage on this? I guess the problem, and I saw today the videos of them at the State House down in Montgomery outside, and the guy's literally out there hollering, "We know you're in there, Attorney General. Come out here." Who in their right mind? What are you going to do if he comes out the door? What are you going to do?
They're going to stand there with their signs and yell really, really angry, and one of them's going to faint.
Well, what gets me is they
probably not say that.
They asked. It's
a lot of drama.
They asked for that Attorney General. Yep. Okay, they asked that this specific person take up this case, and now that the result's not exactly what they want, now they have something else to beef and gripe about. And I think that's
you just said something. The result is not what they want, and I think that's the key. Is that what are they asking for? What is the result from all of this? It's 90% of this is just either always becomes a black-white issue. Where does it always end up? Montgomery, Alabama, downtown. Good God. I've grown up there my entire life, and Lord knows it is for the civil rights capital of the United States. It breathes so thick.
It does.
Because it just continues to be it's allowed to happen. This is where it's just, can somebody just stop the stupid, please?
And look, I'm just going to tell you, and this is the bottom line, okay? It starts out, it's parenting, okay? That is the bottom line, okay? Mm-hmm. It's parenting, and it's educating your kids on what right and wrong is. And that's what scares me about society today, is that our kids, my kids, your kids, you guys, okay, are growing up in a society where people literally don't know or don't care about the difference between right and wrong. Yep. Okay, and that's where it bothers me the most. But and to me now, if they want to come and disrupt business and disrupt traffic and all that, charge them on every single little petty crime that you can come up with. Okay, throw them all in there, fine them to the maximum amount, and stop this crap.
Yep. Don't give them a platform.
And that's the other thing, okay?
But there's always going to be, even if you give them, See, that's the thing too. It's always going to be something. One thing breeds another. I mean, you talk about the youth and what's going on right now. Everybody loves to turn a blind eye to things that aren't selfishly driven.
Right.
You know, I mean, 90% of why this is happening so much is people are, look at me. What about me?
And, you know, it's funny because they, you know, me growing up in my high school years and a little beyond in the 80s, you know, we were kind of known as the me generation. But if you think today's generation of kids is not the most me generation that I've ever seen, I don't know what is.
Me too.
Well, you know, but the me that they're propelled by is I think it's a different source almost. I mean, it's, you know, they're more, from what I've observed, and I mean, there is this gap of generation. We were talking about age before the show, but, you know, the resources, you know, it seems to me that a younger generation, they think very, very differently. And Chris, even where you and I think kind of how my parents thought, how a lot of your thoughts and views. But I think that they're so self-driven towards resource as their concern. And it's not because they care about the environment. It's all very self-driven. It's all, what can I have? They haven't grown up without a cell phone.
Right.
They haven't grown up without instant access, and nor do they understand what not having that is. But they're still very because we give them that ability. You know, it goes down to the parents. It fuels these fires that we are seeing, you know, even getting into where we're going to talk about the Seth Rich murders. I mean, it does fuel the media. There's these social connections of how people are receiving that information.
So weren't y'all afraid of your parents? I mean, you respected them, but at the same time, weren't you kind of afraid of your parents?
Yep.
I mean, parents were like, you know, my dad scared the hell out of me. Yeah. And every probably male in any vicinity of, yeah.
Were you afraid of your dad?
Artillery on the wall.
Yeah, I figured you were. Yeah. But I guess that's the thing that's weird to me is, you know, when did it all change? And maybe it does have something to do with the fact that today's generation is all about that instant gratification. Mm-hmm. It's literally everything then.
Everything's in here.
Yeah.
You know, there's no connection. The human connection and the human experience has become one that's very isolated, even though you're surrounded. You know, I watch kids that even, you know, my kids, they're bored. Well, they don't understand, dear God. Or if they don't know, the common sense of they don't even realize, hey, I can look up how to do anything in the world.
Right. Some
kids do get this. So, you see this whole transgression of a generation that, you know, some of them are not as, you know, they're not, I say, yes, you have your entitled generation, but then you do have an emerging generation, I think, that is just very focused on the resources that they are used to within their world. And it's very different than even what I grew up with.
Well, I feel like they don't have the ability to separate the difference in the real world and that social world that they're living through media now.
There's not a lot of difference.
Well, they're all keyboard warriors. You know, they're brought up with that mindset where they can come out and on any platform out there, they can say whatever they want and not truly be held accountable for anything that they're saying. And I think that's where the problem lies, is that they take that and they translate it into their real lives. Like they can just, you know, the joke was when we were kids is that, you know, we tried to explain to our parents told us, you know, hey, look, you know, if you mess up, it's not like you can just go put another quarter in the machine. Okay. Where today they literally have that mentality that they're invincible. You know, nothing is ever going to go wrong.
Try again.
Right.
Yes.
Right. But anyway,
well, it's the whole fire media thing. I mean, I don't know how much we got to talk about it last week because, you know, I had issues last week, but it's that mentality. It's all sold. It's a false reality.
Yeah.
There's no way, you know, it's the whole, I laugh and tell people all the time, I'm like, you know, here's my real life. And I laugh about it because the reality is, yeah, it can be funny, but it's not the imagery or what, you know, people are buying into and what they think that they see outside of a computer screen. Right. I mean, we all have, you know, there's this end and then there's this end. And you're right, the communication skills, they've changed drastically. Even learning skills changing drastically. I mean, yeah, parents are up against a lot because we're all still figuring this out.
So
I'm screwed is the way I look at it. So yeah, I have teenagers.
Are you a texter or a caller? Josh, or do you call? Are you one that prefers to text or prefers to call and have a conversation with people?
As busy as I am, I like to text that way.
But I think that's a generational thing.
But I'll call if I need.
But see, you will. Okay,
Yeah.
I know people that are younger that literally refuse to call and they won't do anything but text.
Like when you're there and you need to tell them, I'll call.
Right.
Those people that do that just text, that drives me crazy. I'm
like you're sitting in the car with them, okay?
Like, bro,
and they're
we're
texting you
outside
from
the door.
Right.
Just call them.
So, are you a caller, Allison?
I'm a little bit of both because I was like I said, I grew up in a time frame where texting, like I held out. Like I remember when everybody was getting their BlackBerries, I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like if you can't pick up the phone and call me, then I just don't have time for you.
I didn't have
but
3
then
minutes.
it became a forced reality of like, fine, I have to adapt to this. So now I have carpal tunnel. But yeah, I guess I'm a texter because sometimes it's just easier to tell people things because you don't know what the hell's going on in their day. And then there's also the eternal, but I'm in between generations, like my dad. Do not send him a text.
Right.
You're never going to get a response.
I remember when my dad was still alive, when he got a phone that was capable of actually sending and receiving a text, he had no concept of how or even to do anything like that. It was literally, he was like, this just doesn't even exist, okay? But, at the same time, for me, and I think I'm a caller, but that may be just because I'm a little bit older, but for me, it's not even so much about your age or the technology. It's about, like, there's no tonal inflection in a text.
It's the lost in translation.
Oh, my gosh, so much can get lost and so much can be misread and everything. And the other thing that gets me is that adage, okay,
That's why there's emojis. You didn't know?
Well, it's like I text you, Allison, and I say, hey, Allison, what's up? Okay.
Right.
30 seconds passes by and you send me a text back that says, not much.
Explanation.
How about you?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
You got a whole nother
right?
mindset.
Okay. So it takes 15 minutes to have a 30-second conversation. So to me.
Like just pick up the phone.
Right. Okay. And don't get me wrong. I think it's a great technology that's available, especially if you're in a situation where you may be in an environment where you don't need to be talking out loud or whatever, that you can have a private conversation.
But you should probably just be focused on whatever.
Right. Like maybe your job or, something like that, but, it's interesting now, it's still, and I know that there are states that are going to it, that it is now against the law to even pick up your phone while you're driving. Okay. So it's the hands-free thing, okay? It's been against the law in most places to text and drive, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But we're just now hearing, because everybody assumes that it's okay to talk and drive.
Right.
I mean,
I don't. I can hardly talk and walk sometimes.
I kind of have the same
issue. I
issue.
have bruises all over me. I murder doorways, desks. Constantly. So talking and driving, that can be scary. I end up in all kind of random places.
So did y'all?
I've gotten lost a few times because of that. Have you ever done that? Have you ever gotten lost from just driving?
No.
I'm gonna go this way.
Never.
See, never.
Of course,
just a me problem.
Of course, I grew up reading maps. We didn't have GPS technology. We asked for directions.
Actually, I have pulled out a map recently, and I was glad that I grew up in the '90s. So I did, in the '80s. So I learned how to read a map, even though sometimes it's still difficult left and right because I'm still blonde. So.
I tell you.
But, it's okay. I make it places.
All right, so Josh, you want to go ahead and throw it on the table?
What?
What was your next question?
I can't do that on air. That's inappropriate.
Oh, well.
You
can.
Comments. Oh, yeah.
You technically can.
Last night was the State of the Union address.
So too.
And I don't want to get too in-depth with it, but, it was intriguing to me because I forgot it was a thing. So when I got back from the gym, I saw it on YouTube. That's like everything I saw was like, ooh, live. 70 different sources of the live. So I just click on CBS. I watch it, then they're talking about it. So then I was like, I wonder what this channel is doing. So then they're talking about it's a great speech. He covered this. He showed what he accomplished in such a short time. Blah, blah. Then you go to CNN and it's like doomsday. Right. The walls are closing in.
Isn't it crazy?
He knows it's coming. Nixon made the same speech when he was there. Do. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Don't you think that's
polar
the whole
opposite?
Well, that's the thing.
And that itself shows where our society is.
Right. It's amazing to me that you can get such a different version of the exact same words.
Right.
Okay. And that's
immediately.
While it's going on, that's the crazy part, okay? It's like you said, you literally have one going, this may have been the best State of the Union address in history. And other people are going, oh, well, it's supposed to be the State of the Union. Why didn't he talk about that?
Yeah, he didn't lay down any plans. I'm like, at this point, does he have to?
No. I don't
like.
I
Yeah,
don't think,
some of his statistics might have been, a little exaggerated, but most of it was true.
it's pretty much a bomb. I mean, that was crazy.
I don't know
good.
what the hell his plan is, but he's been doing it, so I assume he has one.
Well, I kind of go along with that adage: if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yep.
Okay, and that's the bottom line. I'll tell you the craziest poll, and this is kind of funny. It came out that a CBS poll of all things, okay, which is they're typically on the CNN side of things, okay. 76% of the people watching approved of what he said and what he's doing. Okay. And again, that's just like you said, Josh. Okay. It depends on who you're listening to, because some people, he's so far down in the approval polls, he'll never climb out of the gutter. And now all of a sudden, 76% is virtually unheard of.
Yeah.
As far as approval ratings.
I'm not gonna. I don't know what every president gets. I don't remember any of them, but
They don't get.
seems pretty
from
high.
What I understand, they usually get it's the opposite number. They get 34%.
Right. 34, maybe 50 is like super
I was
high.
gonna say 50 is pretty.
Right.
Pretty solid.
What drives me crazy is, and it just pisses me off because it's like that is politics. It's when he states something about something good happening for the American people, not this is what our party did, good for the American people and good for American people's lives. But the other side, can't clap. He's Republican.
There's a lot of little things that happen, which is just a solid indication of where we are. Okay, here's another question for you. Okay, Nancy Pelosi picking up her papers and reading it over and over and over. Okay, do you find that rude? Or was that a pre-planned deal?
She doesn't know where the hell she's at.
I mean, I wonder that sometimes myself.
Yeah, she thinks she's at IHOP. She don't know.
Right? Okay.
That bitch is crazy.
I mean, I guess the thing to me is it's what I call.
At least she wasn't filing her nails.
I know, right? Okay, it's what I call the panic papers. Have you ever done that? Like all of a sudden you're in the middle of a conversation and you pick it up and you're like, well, I'm just going to act like I'm reading this, so I don't have to actually act like I know where I'm at or anything. I mean,
not going to acknowledge you.
And it's like you said, when the entire American public, okay, is happy, okay. 2 people were upset in that crowd last night when Trump said we started as a free nation, we'll end as free, and we will never, ever, ever become a socialist nation.
Bernie Sanders being
okay. Bernie Sanders was red in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But let's be honest, okay? Can you imagine America ever as a socialist country?
Oh, I can see it coming.
I know, I can too, but that's quite frightening.
I think,
So
it's a possibility, but I don't see
scary.
it.
I thought there were some really cool things though, like with some of the guests that were there. A lot of it was moving and touching and all that, but to me, one of the coolest things I thought that was there was the guy that was in the concentration camp, and the guy sitting next to him was actually the guy who actually helped liberate that camp that he was in.
Holocaust wasn't real, bro.
Oh, that's right. It wasn't real. That's right. All those people were in some
real.
gigantic
Where's the
microwave.
bodies, bro?
Right.
That's a legit conspiracy theory, by the way.
By the way, okay. But you ask that old man if it was real or not, right?
Bullshit.
Right.
You're bullshitting me.
But what's crazy to me is you take
That
all
is
those,
that is amazing. Though,
that's
bro.
I mean and the guy that actually helped liberate, and the cool part of the story was that 3 months before that he stormed the beaches, the beach at D-Day of Normandy. Okay?
My great grandfather was in D-Day.
That's crazy if you think about it. Those cats are in their 90s. They have to be.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you think about those guys, and I've always said, if you ever get a chance to talk to or listen to anybody that's up in years like that, it's a great conversation just to sit down and listen to what they have to say. Anybody who's lived through almost 100 years of history has seen some pretty dramatic.
It's a great the best generation of men.
Absolutely, they were patriots. They went out there, they fought for their country, and it didn't matter what country.
Well, they weren't killing themselves because they have a wiener and they want a vagina.
Right.
They were killing themselves because they didn't get to go to war.
Right. It was like an honor. That was how you proved yourself. Right. Here's the crazy part if you think about it though.
But they had big old dicks. They were just
those people who jumped out of those planes and stormed the beaches and fought and liberated these kids were 16, 17, 18 and 19 years old.
Yeah, they're savages.
If you think about it, that's absolutely stunning. Can you? And I know there's guys out there, plenty of guys in the service who do it today, who are out there and have experienced that kind of thing. But war was even a little bit more. It was more different back then than it is today. Could you imagine yourself? you identify as a 36-year-old, I believe.
37 now.
30. Oh, it has been a while. And Brian, you
32.
He identifies as a 32-year-old, but realistically, even in your 20s, can you imagine 10 years ago? Okay, you being in a situation where you're in a wartime environment and you're going to liberate a people in World War II.
Yeah, my Tinder game probably wouldn't have been strong.
Right.
That's all I was worried about back then.
Right.
Now that's
either that or would have given you you would have had different game.
Yeah.
Back then they had the
True.
You know,
I would have probably came
the
back with
different
STD because apparently
It's like
European
species.
women loved them some American soldiers.
They did.
They'd have
They
sex
did.
for a damn chocolate bar.
There's a lot of them.
That's why they popped out babies afterwards, like left and right too.
Ain't nothing but a thing.
Now apparently that
Yeah.
type of
They
masculinity
became
is
the baby
toxic.
boomer.
Oh, toxic
Yeah,
that's
that's
masculinity.
right.
considered toxic now. All that.
Well, they've been like literally. You see it, them feminizing men, like, and it's just they're getting more and more like a macho man isn't like attractive anymore. You gotta wear like hipster glasses and skinny jeans.
So how do you? Okay, Allison, you got to chime in on this. Okay, how do you feel about that? About the toxic masculinity deal? I mean, is chivalry a problem nowadays? I mean, is that something that's even a real thought process?
No, there's there's a difference in being respectful. Okay, like I don't have a problem with people. Please hold the door open for me. That's being respectful. I'm not going to be like, oh my god.
What if we were
Can't believe
catcalling
you
you?
did that. Huh?
What if we were catcalling you?
Now,
Hey,
here's my other side
drop
of the
the
coin.
zero
I
and
have
get with
been
the
in
hero.
I have been in many situations in my life where, it is not comfortable to be stared at, mocked at, unwantedly.
I know what you mean.
Called. I have had some of my unfinest moments when I have been provoked after multiple situations like that, where you just kind of like lose it one day, and you finally just have that break point because you do get sick of it to an extent. It's called, nobody walks around going, you know what, today I want to walk outside, and I truly hope that I have a bunch of men who I would never intend on having any sort of relationship with. I would love for them to say disgusting things for me today.
Now,
I do that every day.
No, but
that's life goals right there.
But see, here's the thing that's interesting to me about that comment. Okay, and obviously you're a generation separated from the people I'm talking about. Okay, here's a group of women who feel that same way. They're going, okay, today I don't want to go outside and have people whistling at me and telling me how great I look.
Right.
Okay, yet every day, okay, they're going to take selfies,
half naked,
okay, showing their breasts. Okay,
those aren't the ones complaining though.
Are they?
Yeah.
Part. Well, and here's the thing, and you know what, I say that, but I think it's all in what you bring to you. If you put that out there, then obviously, but I think if you're going to go to the grocery store and you're in your sweatshirt, or if I show up, as my kids would say, ratchet. I'm not trying to get hit on everywhere I go, but can I take a compliment from someone who respectfully does it? Absolutely. There's a huge difference in complimenting a female versus, hey baby, you want to
how you doing?
Come on. I've heard some really terrible pickup lines. Y'all got any good pickup lines?
We'll talk about that next week.
Well,
Catcalls. Yeah, we'll have to Valentine's Day that one.
Catcalls, pickup
mine
lines.
probably is, hey, you like dragons?
Imagine.
How about I be dragging these balls across your forehead? Huh? Huh?
No, but I guess to ask, the double standard to me is, yes, I do agree that there is an extent of, there's got to be common sense injected to anything. I could literally see every side to a number of situations. Now, some of it, like, the whole, let me wear my lace underwear around my face and take pictures and march down the street. That's doing no damn good.
That's not normal?
Is that
kind
normal?
of
Is that a thing?
philosophy I don't understand.
Oh.
But, do I sit here and say, do I want to be, when I'm out shopping with my kids, do I want the whole team of, people unloading the Home Depot truck to...
No, I didn't know where you were going with that.
Like,
I'm like, what are you into?
Staring at my 13-year-olds doing.
Hey,
moves
I'm going to
from
Home
Kingston.
Depot.
Allison does teams over here.
Right? We were like, I'm
What
going
the
to
hell? Where are you
It's like,
going?
I'm
with
going
this?
to Home
Y'all don't
Depot.
know. I mean, I asked my husband today. I was like, "Is it just me?" He's like, "Yeah, it's kind of just."
Yeah,
well,
no
it's not
wonder
just you, but
Valentine's
you're-
Day's a little
you're
sore
special.
subject
I'm like,
for
"All
you.
right."
Literally.
You take me if you ever want to.
I think she's just
if you
ignoring
really
us
ever
now.
wanted to go and experience Home Depot in a different way, just go with me.
She's like, focus.
I'm okay.
Focus.
If you ever need help, I have so many people asking for help that it's overwhelming. Sometimes it's a problem.
I agree. Totally agree.
Sometimes, like actually, this happened last night. I went to Publix, and I think by like the fourth aisle, I kind of wanted to I really did. I kind of wanted to, I had visions of myself, pushing over bag boys, because there's a point where it's like I have my list and I'm trying to focus and there's all this going on and I'm just trying to get
That damn Home Depot
get out
team
of the
comes out
store.
of nowhere.
We're getting some
I
great
know where I'm
sound
at.
bites.
I'm in Publix. I don't need your help. Thank you. And what happens? Every 5 feet, you find everything? Yep. 5 feet later, you find everything?
Hey, that just customer service is at its best. Man.
That's a cheap pickup line, though.
Can't even think.
That's
You
a
don't
cheap
find
pickup line.
anything.
It's
In my
the-
Walmart
maybe
vest?
Yeah,
That's
can you
pickup line?
tell me where the Crisco is?
So Publix. So when you go into Publix, do you get asked do you get asked, do you need help every other aisle?
No, but they want
Somewhat.
to take everything to your car.
Depends if I'm wearing my assless chaps or not.
Okay, so if you went in with your assless chaps on, and the deli ladies were all asking you, if they were following you around, asking you, did you want more meat?
I wouldn't be surprised. I have a voluptuous
You'd be
booty.
offended by that. Right?
No, man. You obviously haven't seen me in my assless chaps.
Obviously.
I got that baseball booty. You know what I'm saying?
we were laughing at one of the comments. Somebody asked him
Hey, it works. I'm telling you.
if Josh liked dragons.
My Dragons pickup line works 60% of the
Your
time,
dragon pickup
every
line.
time. All
As
right.
long as it breathes fire. That's what I want to know. Does your dragon,
So-
does it spit fire?
All right, so back to the address real quick.
Let's roll it
Oh,
back.
yeah.
Well,
Let's go back. We're talking about Mexicans
it's-
running trains.
No, no. It's actually kind of along the
Sorry,
same
we went
lines.
way off.
It's actually kind of along the same lines, which is kind of funny. One I thought was a kind of almost a humorous moment in the whole thing last night is that you've got an amazing number of women who are all dressed in white.
Suffrage movement.
The suffrage movement. Okay, what's crazy to me is he said something at one point about the fact that the number of women that were elected to Congress was on a really high note. And the number of women in the workforce is just going crazy.
What was that reaction? I didn't get that.
Well, see, I think it's because it was they couldn't. I mean, they had to stand up and applaud it. That's what they were there for.
Yep.
Okay, and he actually kind of made a joke about it and said, "Y'all don't sit down yet. I'm not
Kinda like
done."
this, yeah.
Right. So he's like, "I got some more
Right,
stuff to
hold
talk
on.
about it." But I think it was really kind of cool that even under those pressure and those stressful moments, he actually still kind of made it where he almost like had a little bit of fun with it. Which is kind of cool if you think
Yeah.
about it, because very few of our presidents can take a situation like that and turn it into something which is kind of fun.
I wouldn't say fun.
I know
When his
but I'm
son's
saying-
over there
Okay,
Well, I
so
know.
it's not about
snoozing.
Fun, but
maybe
entertaining.
lighthearted.
It was a rootin' hootin' good time. Let me
It was
tell
a
you.
rootin'
He broke
tootin'
out
good
shots.
time.
They were doing body shots and stuff. It was great.
So, what do you think it was like after are there after parties like they have at the Oscars? and
Dude, if I
stuff?
was president, we would just get turned.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Like,
I think that's still a saying,
like,
right?
I'm sure.
is it?
Is it?
But like, do they get together? Like both parties go out afterwards?
Nah, I doubt it.
And here's the other question. And let's
See TMZ,
right
stumbling out of the damn bar.
Well, let's be honest for just a second, okay? What do you think was in those glasses?
Who knows?
And both Pence's and her little man, she had a nice little setup up there. She had like this little tray with a couple of
I don't
cups
know.
and
Like I said, she didn't know where the hell she was. She thought that was the syrup tray from IHOP. She didn't know.
She thought she was having tea with
The queen.
Empress and the queen and whoever.
Yeah,
Yes.
Pelosi don't know where she's at.
So my question is this:
She was having tea.
you talk about after parties and all that, which I'm pretty sure there probably actually is something like that. So you think they were all pre-gaming?
I don't know. You know what bothers me about Pelosi? You know,
What?
her and what's the dude's name?
Fix a dent and fix it.
No, what's the other dude's name? the guy that she always partners with.
Oh,
what's his name?
Schumer, her boyfriend.
Schumer, yeah. They're all complaining about one. I'm not a big wall guy. Like, I'm not really a big fan of it. Yeah, I get it, but like $5 billion, right? They're complaining about $5 billion, even though the military budget annually is north of $600 billion.
Right.
So you can't find five measly. Where the hell is she? Her net worth is at above $100 million. She is a lifetime congresswoman, and her net worth is above $100 million. Where the hell is that money coming from?
I'm trying to remember what president said it, and I want to say it was Truman, I believe.
He's the
Or was
last
it
president without a
Eisenhower?
college degree, FYI.
It was either Truman. It was either Truman or Eisenhower said that you don't get rich being a politician unless you're a crook.
All politicians are crooks.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
The system is designed to
pay-
be inevitably corrupt.
Well, that's the thing is, I think 90% of them probably go in with the right intentions.
Well, it's
they're young, they're vibrant, they're going to say, hey,
They really do force them into.
Well,
corrupt.
it's inevitable. You can't do it. Say you have a you're a congressperson or a senator of a certain district. You what you want to get jobs, correct? You want a better infrastructure of that area. So you cut deals with this company to create jobs. But in order to make this happen, you got to cut deal for this person that makes that thing a possibility. And then it trickles down and it just keeps going.
It's called pork barreling.
right, and like you're
pork
you're a young
sorting.
congresswoman, say it like the State of the Union address. You stand up and you start clapping, and one of your superiors says, "Watch your ass."
Yeah, that old bitch.
Sit down, girl.
Dude, she was like, she stopped her. She's like, "Watch your ass."
Well, out of respect, like it makes me want to be a congressperson just to stand up at that moment.
Oh, I would be. They would hate me, no matter which side I was on.
I'm just clapping for no reason.
Dude, I'd be there to
The
put.
real sense of this is, they're probably getting death threats. They're probably getting. I mean, their families probably go through hell. I mean,
like that's
real too.
It's to a point to where which person said that he would execute a baby on the
After
spot?
birth.
After birth.
No, he said after birth they would talk about it. No, they said they would make the child comfortable while they had a discussion with the mother whether she wanted to keep it or not.
Hey, should I put an ice pick through this baby's skull? Or
that's just.
I don't care what side you're on. You're twisted.
Right, that's the thing. When he said he's getting away with baby murdering, I'm not clapping because of women's rights. That's beyond. Look,
I don't care what side you're on or where you come from.
Like I said a few episodes ago, their one argument with the whole abortion thing was, it's just a batch of cells. What do they got now? It's a baby.
It's now an actual baby.
It is a literal baby.
I'll tell you the other comment.
Comfortable, you just said.
Yeah, what does that mean?
I have a question about that.
I never made my chair comfortable or my table comfortable or car comfortable.
Right.
Why is it solely?
No, why? Because it doesn't feel.
Why is it solely the woman's decision? It took a man to make that baby as well.
Yeah. And I was going to say, these are more
Dude, what the hell's wrong with you? What? Sexist pig?
Especially if it's alive.
Have you not heard of toxic masculinity?
Right? That's the thing,
Seriously,
Brian.
Get that shit out of here. Women are the only thing that matter.
A baby doesn't come just from a woman. It takes a man too. So
Have you not heard of Mary?
Right.
It's in the Bible. It's in the good book, son.
All by herself. If I get pregnant again, it'll be because just call it Jesus, because
it'll be the same thing, right?
Yeah.
That's my whole problem.
Pretty much.
It's just the woman's decision. Like I would have no choice.
Yeah, I know. That's the way it works. Men get shafted and all that laws.
Yeah, the moment she has. Hold on.
I would say that, and then I'd say, but just you should wrap it up and think about it, and
Wrap what up?
There's that other,
The conversation?
Well, let's see.
Yeah, I don't like to talk. I don't like to talk much. I go straight to business.
I don't think that's where she was going with it.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I don't think so.
Hey,
wasn't talking about
fun fact. Number 2, the first form of birth control was crocodile shit.
Sure was.
You would tell us a little bit about how that worked?
I don't know. Did it actually do something
Did you
chemically?
eat it?
No, like they rub it down there.
Oh, what? No, you know how that works?
No, is it?
And it doesn't have to be crocodile. Any form of that will work.
Wipe it on yourself.
Right.
Yeah, because like I'm out.
Is it chemically do something, or does it just smell like
It's
shit?
so bad you go, no, thank you.
Some guys would. Okay, I want y'all to tag the one guy that wouldn't matter.
Right.
The one guy.
Well,
We
that's
all
right.
have that friend.
Right. We want to know. Okay, ladies.
You're in you look at it and you have that dilemma. You're like, crocodile shit, but
she's a 10 in my book.
How many
It happened.
How many beers? Yeah.
Right. That's like a 12-pack in, right?
Yeah, we all know who we're talking. You know who? We all know who I'm thinking of. Not gonna go there, but yeah. Anyway, but hey, that's gonna wrap it up here. We're getting close to the time here. If you like what you heard, please go rate and subscribe.
And if you don't,
just do it anyway because I don't give a shit. Because we all know, hey, you like dragons?
Dragons.
we know Josh likes dragons.
I do like dragons. Wait, no, I don't like
I
dragons.
like dragons.
And he likes puppies.
I do love puppies.
Everybody loves
And if
puppies.
you
I
want
love
to be
puppies.
on the
I
show
love puppies.
or request content for the show, just email me at Almost Legal Podcast or hit any of us up on social media. If you don't know where it is, then tough shit.
You know what Facebook is, then
yeah.
get out of here.
Yeah, get the hell out of here, you
Yeah.
Mormon son
Get
of a
on
bitch.
out of
Get
here.
out.
Go believe in your
You
golden
don't
plates.
know what YouTube is? Get out.
Oh, yeah. And God bless America.
And God
Oh,
bless
fuck that.
America and everyone in it. And until next
Any
week,
cheeseburgers.
I'll see you. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Allison. Thanks, B-Dog.
We're out.
Peace.
Deuces.